All right. Welcome to Taco Tuesday, where we discuss good food, fitness, and everything in between. Or as Nick says, success in every sense of your being, body, mind, spirit, heart, and soul. I'm Brandon.
I'm Rebecca, and our goal with these talks is to provide you with some high value info and then also action items you can take. So stay tuned to the end so you can actually get those action items to make changes.
Yeah. And I'm Nick. And if you're here live with us today on Facebook, like us, give us a thumbs up, let us know you can hear us in some way. And if you're not on Facebook, you can't do that. So you'll have to come join us on Facebook. And then you can hang out with us. You can literally ask us questions, whatever you want to do. You can get insight. You can get support from us and the rest of the community. You should probably just come do that right now.
Seriously, why aren't you in here? So the theme of the month in our Clean Club group, and if you don't know what that is, reach out and
we should talk about that for a sec.
That's super exciting. Okay, sure. Let's talk about that. We have a new group, and it's awesome. And the whole idea, right, is to have all of your fitness, your health and wellness resources all in one place. Because we know a lot of people who, search all over the place to find their online workouts and search all over the place to find their meal plans. And then they don't even know if they're really all that good. And then there's, no opportunity to have a relationship with a trainer or professionals who know what they're doing. And so our idea was to put all those things in one place and make a community out of it. So that's what we've done. That is the Clean Club. It is a private group. And if you want to know more about it, please do reach out to us because it is absolutely awesome. Rebecca, you've been killing it in there, helping us organize all
of credit to Rebecca.
Everything. Yes. I was going to say, for those of you out there, whether you are entrepreneurs like we are, or you work for someone who has you working remotely, this is a perfect group for you because everything gets blurred when you work from home. Family, all the stuff you have to do that you feel burnt out at the end of the day. Who wants to plan meals and figure out workouts and all that stuff? So we make it easy for you where we just give you everything you need at the beginning of the month and you just follow the calendar and we do all the thinking for you and you take care of yourself and your family and your business.
Yep. All the trackers and whatever you need. Yeah, very good. Yeah, there's so much there's just so much to make use of in there. You've done an awesome job helping us.
We've done an awesome job.
Yeah,
lots of credit for Rebecca, though. That's really what it is.
So and every month at the beginning of the month, we have a theme for the month. And this month is heart health and self-care and self-love. And whenever you start talking about heart health, right, the first question that always comes up is, what's the best cardio exercise, right? What's the best cardio? And there's so much, like it's huge, right? It's a big thing. There's a lot to talk about there. We can talk about what exercise specifically is the best, right? Running, cycling, elliptical, kayaking, hiking, boxing, whatever. Like just about anything can be turned into cardio. That's one thing. Or we can talk about different types of cardiovascular work, how we do these exercises, right? The two big kind of schools of thought right now, at least, are HIIT, high intensity interval training, right? Working hard and fast for short intervals. And LISS, the low and slow, right? Low intensity, steady state cardio, which is what most of us think of when we think of cardio, and which I think has really given cardio sort of a bad name in a way, right? How many of us really want to commit to an hour and a half of abject boredom and misery?
Yeah. Actually, who out there does? Like, who likes to do that or who hates to do that? I don't want to do that. But everybody, we all have something that we hate doing when it comes to, or we hate the idea of, whether we're doing it or not.
Squat jacks.
Let's hear those things. Yeah, squat jacks. Rebecca freaking hates squat jacks. I know that.
Freaking hate them.
Fact. Totally. I'm trying to think. I really dislike the treadmill quite a
I
bit.
do too.
Oh
Yeah, me
God,
too.
yes.
I don't
I know
mind
quite a
it
few
if I'm
people who
doing
like
like
it though. So
I do too. I do
Yeah.
too. But you know, I also know a single leg anything. Best answer. Who was that?
Well, I have to say, being a former ballet dancer, when you walk into a gym and they tell you the different types of cardio you can do, you're like, can I just do a bunch of pirouettes across the floor and be done with it? But they don't have those in gyms.
Yeah, can I just lie down and like not? Yeah, almost anything that involves the treadmill, especially if it's just like low and slow, you know, having to run it exactly, you know, 3.2 miles per hour for ever. So yeah, I love that answer though, Mara. Single leg, anything, I'm with you.
yeah, it can be grueling.
It can
Well,
be.
so then
But
on
you know what?
that
I've been
note-
really feeling the Romanian deadlifts lately, which is not
really
not necessarily a cardio exercise, but it's single leg.
Can be, depends on how you do it, right?
true,
So
yeah.
we're going to talk a little bit about that later. We'll get to that later.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that for sure.
But excellent.
Well,
a little foreshadowing.
Since we're talking about different forms of cardio, let's talk about the specific exercises or activities first.
Okay.
There's cycling, running. Neither of those things are things I enjoy, by the way. But what's the best? What do you have to run to lose weight? Because I mean, that's what people tell you. If you run, you'll lose weight.
Totally, right, Rebecca? We totally had this conversation at the beginning of our client trainer relationship.
Yes.
Oh, so long ago.
Not happening.
Yeah, that's the big question, right? And that's the assumption. It's the assumption. Oh, I have to run to do cardio, and I have to do cardio to lose weight. And there's another question kind of buried within there. So first, no, you do not have to run to lose weight. Some people will freaking crucify me for saying that, but I don't give a shit at all.
We'll protect you.
You really don't. And secondly, like, yeah, it's all about like, what is your goal really? If it's truly to lose weight, absolutely not. You do not need to run. But yeah, when it comes to what is the best cardio exercise, I mean, there are a million things to talk about. Do you want to run? I mean, do you enjoy it? Is weight loss one of your goals? Do you want to be able to chase your kids around without without them needing to know like CPR to resuscitate you after you pass out?
I was like, what's he laughing at?
Do you need to be able to run? Sorry, the idea popped into my head.
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
Yeah. Is running a necessity for you? You know, is what you're doing, you know, the answer to that question determines what you should do, or even if you need to do it, right? If you need to perform cardio specific exercises.
Yeah.
So, but even more than that, right? It determines how you do what you do. And that's kind of the next part of this talk. I think we'll get to that, HIIT or LISS, LISS.
Yeah. But for that though, like I definitely agree. I feel like a lot of people believe that in order to achieve some goal that they have to run. It is a must. It is not an option. And the fact that it is a hard must, like there's a line there, you either cross or you don't. I think that stops a lot of people from doing anything, any sense of it. And that puts up a barrier around the idea of cardio. But in the truth of the matter, it's good for you. But you can there's tons of different forms of it. It doesn't have to be that one long, grueling run on the treadmill, you know.
100%.
But if you believe that you have to do it, sure, I know that works for some people, but for many people, there's that internal resistance to making it happen in their worlds because it feels like a must. And it's counterproductive.
Yeah.
And I know for myself, like when I go running, it's usually because like my dog's pulling on me and I want to keep up with her. I want to be able to give her that exercise. So it's not even for me. I don't like running. And that's it.
This must be why I have a cat.
Usually, so to be fair, when I'm done with that run, walk, jog thing that we do, I usually feel really good about it. But it's not because I had to do it. It's because I chose to do it to benefit another part of my world. And that's, I think, that's where the belief for me comes in.
Yeah.
It's not because I had to. It's just because I wanted to be able to provide that for my dog. We're getting off topic here anyway, but
that's all right. Yeah. But you bring up a really good point. Like that mindset around it is really, really important.
Yeah.
Right. I think when we started coaching, Nick, right, we talked a lot about like, client personality types. Right. And I think everybody, for the most part, has a little bit of that rebel personality in there somewhere, where we hear that like, oh, you got to do X, Y, Z. Right. And they're like, forget that. Like, nah, just because you told me, right. Or just because I have to, I'm resistant. Right. We make these barriers that don't even need to be barriers. Like you said, like you don't even like running yet. Your dog yanks on your leash and you're like, I like playing with my dog though. And that involves running. And so all of a sudden you're enjoying running. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's not about the run at that point. It's about providing joy in another sense. Yeah. That's what it is. It's playing with the dog a little bit.
Mara
she's
brings
12,
up
so like if she wants to do that, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Right. And that's how I am with my kids. I'm like, oh, you're up for like a basketball game or you're up for, running down the trail, whatever. Then I'm all about it. But
you want to race? Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Do I want to run? Not at all. But, so totally different things, yet they involve the same thing. Yeah. Mara brings up a good point here, for my body, hiking, long, fast-paced walks, strength training work best. Yeah. Along with healthy eating. And that's the thing. Right. It can be really subjective. There are some universal truths, of course, you can't do it without moving or without, practicing some, some mindfulness or having some, standards around how you eat, what you eat, when you eat, that kind of thing. So, so we are kind of getting out there on a tangent. How we exercise, how we do those things is really important as well. So that's my question, I think, for everyone out there. Like, do you have a preference? HIIT or LISS? That's funny. HIIT or LISS? High intensity or low and slow, or maybe you just have a favorite activity you've never even thought about how you do it.
Yeah. Like, so dancing is a great way to get cardio in.
Awesome. Yeah, Jesus, you should see my son after he dances. I'm like, oh my God, you look like you got a better workout than I did today.
Well, let's talk about those two big types of exercises, right? HIIT and LISS. Like, what's the difference? And can you dive into that a little bit more?
Totally. Yeah. So there are some obvious big differences, right? They produce different results in some ways and similar results in others. The name of our free group on Facebook, our big group, Drop the Fat, Not the Tacos, would probably imply that most of us here want to be able to eat good food and still be healthy and able-bodied. So sticking with that theme, let's talk a little bit maybe about what each of those does for weight loss.
Yes.
Low and slow, right? Those activities take a longer time, right? They utilize the oxidative energy pathway, which takes longer to burn calories, right? Cycling on flat ground, light swimming, jogging, the elliptical, right? Those things take longer times, right? Because we're working at a lower intensity. They take forever, but they take a longer time to burn calories, but most of those calories come from fat because of the energy pathway that they're coming from. That's great. But, they also, you have to stick with it for a long time. It's not a lot of calories. Lower impact. That's one of the big benefits, though, of those types of exercises, right? We're not going super hard. For some people, it's a good kind of introduction into getting active again. is working at that kind of low and slow thing before they bump up. Then, of course, HIIT, working at a higher intensity, burns more calories per minute, but you can't do it for very long or as frequently as well, unless you're like a marathon runner, and you should definitely, you have a protocol there. But it tends to be higher impact, and so your nervous system and your muscles, your joints require rest after doing that kind of strenuous activity. So while it doesn't utilize fat as much for fuel, it does burn up glycogen at a really high rate, right? It just toasts those calories, glycogen, stored carbs, right?
I was going to say glyco-who?
Stored carbs. So those excess carbs, right, don't get from your next meal, don't get stored as fat, right? So there's always this obsession, right? Like, I got to burn fat, I got to burn fat, I got to burn fat. And your body is always kind of switching back and forth, right? Between those systems. Your body's going to burn fat, but just as important, it's making sure that, the food that you eat doesn't get stored as fat as well.
That's right. Yeah. And like what you were just talking about, those are definitely benefits for weight loss, 100%. But in other ways of benefit, like from going in those two different chunks, you get tons of other benefits from both of them, right? So the lower steady state, that's definitely good for lung and cardiovascular endurance, right? But usually it doesn't require a whole lot of thought power. Like you're just going in a forward direction.
Sure.
So and a lot of times, like, you get a little strength in your legs and maybe even a little bit in your torso, but it's not really that much,
right?
Because you're just going straight,
right?
And yeah, so while you're burning calories, just to like maybe summarize what you said, you're burning calories doing it over a long period of time. You won't really burn as many as if you would get into a HIIT workout. Is that what you were trying to say, Brennan?
Yeah.
And so HIIT it improves your aerobic capacity. Like, it really gets those lungs in and out. We get a kind of it's hitting your lungs in a sense,
right?
HIIT is high intensity interval training, and it's how much oxygen your lungs can actually absorb and spread to your muscles over a given amount of time. As well as what's that?
I said that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
And so in those hits, you get what I like to call the afterburn, which is you're actually burning calories after your workout.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a perk, right? That's a perk of doing something a little bit more intensely.
Yep.
Also, like we were talking about, as the lower steady state, the LISS workouts, you're just kind of going in a general forward direction. You might like turn a little bit to go around a corner or whatever, but HIIT generally uses bigger, broader motions. It's way better for strength building as well as coordination and just where you are in space, and being able to control your body. And that's huge for young people as well as older people. And it's what I prefer. I like to do it because I can get in and get out and still have a great workout. I don't have to go for an hour and a half.
Totally.
I can do a great HIIT workout in like 20 minutes.
Totally.
And feel good about the rest of my day. So it's great for people who are busy.
Yeah, absolutely. Saves time. I agree with all of that. I think HIIT requires a lot more coordination. There's no more neuromuscular challenge. I think that the aerobic capacity piece is actually quite important as well, like how efficiently your heart and lungs can transport oxygen. Let's throw another monkey wrench in there, though, because you touched on like weightlifting or resistance exercise, and some people absolutely hate cardio exercise, right? Like we talked about earlier, usually because of the boredom involved, and they might also not necessarily be able to do HIIT type workouts, perhaps because of the impact. And that's another conversation about how to modify, right? And know your body.
I was going to say, I'm going to jump in there and give you some kudos, because the classes that you teach on Moxie, the HIIT classes that you do on Tuesday and Thursdays, again, being a former dancer, joints are a lot older than I am. And so there's a lot of things I can't do, but the exercises that you do in those very quick but effective classes have lots of modifications so that young people like me who have old joints and, injuries and stuff from being an athlete can actually still do high intensity training without killing yourself.
Yeah, totally. Well, thank you. Yeah, it is possible to up the intensity without upping the impact, definitely. But that's, again, like kind of one of the reasons that we started this other group was so people can ask those kinds of questions. Right. And ask for those kinds of,
and have the resources too, directly. Yeah,
exactly. But to that, returning sort of to the point, right? Lifting weights or resistance exercise also provides cardiovascular benefit. And most traditional weightlifting sort of falls in the category of HIIT, of high intensity, and can be done without major joint impact as well. I mean, I know every time that I finish a set of whatever exercise I'm doing, performing weightlifting exercise I'm performing, I know that I'm definitely huffing and puffing, right? So I think that gets overlooked a lot. That I think resistance exercise is a lot more important than people give it credit for or is widely recognized.
Yeah, that's actually my preferred form of exercise, right? Is to do I like to lift, and then see a lot of people in the gym, they'll do their one set real heavy, and then they'll sit on their phone for the next 4 minutes, and then they'll do it again. Really that's not cardio, like definitely not. But if you just get up, you do one exercise, you go to another exercise, you go to another exercise, like that's a form of HIIT. You're moving toward it, especially if you're bringing your blood up to the upper extremities and then down to your lower extremities. Like we're moving up and down. That can definitely be taxing on the heart, and then that causes the lungs to require more oxygen. It's great.
Definitely.
I think to tack onto this, like we talked about mindset for a little bit just up there, but basically I really believe that a lot of what we believe is true will make it true for us as an individual. Even if it's not necessarily factual, if we believe that it's going to work, it's kind of like a placebo effect, right? If we believe it's going to work, it'll be much more likely to work for us. And there's a ton of science behind this. I was digging into this a few days ago. And so if you believe that it's going to work, one, you're going to be much more likely to do it.
Yeah,
because you're going to
big one.
Yeah, you believe it, so you're somehow invested into it. And that's kind of we have a clean coaching experience as well. And that's kind of based on that believe method, like get you to believe that this is the way it can work. And once you believe, then you're invested. Then you can actually make change without, doing crazy things. We don't need to get
motivating, right? It's motivating. I mean, that's half the battle, right?
But I even before that, like I'm talking about, there's crazy diets that say hard lines everywhere, You can do it without drawing huge hard lines.
Oh yeah.
And so that's one, right? You got to believe. And two, if when it comes to believing, if you believe that cardio can be good and beneficial, our actual physiological systems will go through changes to continue to benefit that during the process. It gives us a deeper benefit, and vice versa. If we believe it's not going to help, then unfortunately, those same systems will not benefit as much. And it same thing goes with steady state, the LISS, the HIIT, lifting. It's all if you want to lose weight, if you believe any one of those types is going to help you, it will. Right.
Yeah. Well, we know that they're all beneficial, right?
Absolutely. Factually, we do. But even beyond that, if we believe, yes, this will help me, then your physiological system will change and adapt to make that happen even faster, which is, I think it's amazing.
It's because mindset is important. And if you're in the right mindset, and, it's kind of like that thing where if you want a Tesla, all you're going to see are Teslas because that's what's on your mind. So if you're thinking about the fact that this is good for me and I'm going to get better at this, and every week I'm going to do a little bit more, It's those baby steps that you're in the right mindset and it's starting to be more beneficial and better for you than if it's a chore and a hassle. I do my cardio. It's not doing anything. I don't like it, but I'll do it anyway. That mindset will get you nowhere.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah. If you don't believe it's going to be beneficial for you, it won't be.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it will be because we know science proves it, but it won't be in the long run because you don't want to do it. And your physiological system is literally resisting it.
Yeah. I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. You're saying that physiologically, the actual belief, makes a physiological change. And for me, I'm just like on the other hand, the other end of it, sort of, I think the belief changes your behavior.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah. They go hand in hand
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's huge though. I mean, and no matter how you look at it, right, the belief is tremendous. But getting back to our kind of our topic, what's best, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we at?
So I think we were talking about if you can believe it, you can do it. So what can our listeners do? Like, what can they actually do? What is the best cardio workout for them? Running, cycling, swimming's a good one. What should we have them do?
I went swimming
today.
We need
action items.
Cold Northern Michigan water.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like we were just talking about. It's the one you believe in. It's the one that you actually want to go and do, and the one that you actually do go and do. It really doesn't matter as long as you enjoy it and it doesn't torture you in any way, and you believe it's going to work. Then we're in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do what you love.
Well, then which one is better? I mean, I know which one I like better, but is HIIT better or is LISS better?
Is one more effective than the other? I could say this depends on your goals, but for the most part, just like Nick said, it's whichever you prefer and you're motivated to do. What works best is what you actually do, right? What you're going to keep doing. I will say that HIIT is, like we said earlier, more functional, has more benefits in my opinion. But if you want to be, I always used to tell my physical therapy patients, like, if you want to play the piano, then you got to play the piano. There's no use in, in doing other things. Right. But when it comes to function, when it comes to, efficiency, for your time, I think that HIIT has more benefits and can be modified to reduce impact as well. So I'm a fan. But if you hate it, don't do it. Do what you love. That's the bottom line.
If you haven't found a HIIT workout you like, what got me to the place, I'm not kidding, where my husband and I both on a regular basis are working out 4 to 5 times a week and look forward to it and enjoy it and know we need to do it, is because we started doing classes on Tuesday and Thursday morning with Brandon. Brandon's HIIT classes are awesome. So if you haven't done one of those yet and you're trying to figure out, okay, well, how do I find an exercise that works for me? Come join us on Moxie. You get 5 free passes the first time that you come on there, so you can try a few things out for free before you commit. And then we have lots of reasonable programs for you. And we do like 8 or 9 workouts a week you can choose from. So you can find something that works for you. Yeah,
we got a bunch of them. Thank you, because you guys have been awesome to have in class. I love it.
It's fun.
I know I've got a couple others in here who are listening. I don't know is that Jay? Yeah.
We'll show it.
You're going to make me blush.
Yes, they are the best.
Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, you can do a HIIT class and modify and not have to bang on your joints. Guys, have we decided what we're talking about next week? I'm going to give you a second to think about that while we bring it out. So that's the bottom line, guys. I know it's kind of cheating. Do what you love, right? And enjoy it. I would say that if you can, if you enjoy doing some, doing a slow jog, and then I would also encourage you to also do some resistance exercise, definitely. But if you love it, do it. That's the bottom line. But again, doing those HIIT type workouts, and we can definitely, if you have more questions about what really truly is like HIIT exercise, high intensity interval training, I mean, there's kind of a spectrum there. So reach out to us and ask those questions, please, because I know this stuff can be confusing.
Right. And that's exactly why we are here. If it is confusing, we will be your resource. Yeah, this is why we're here.
Yeah, ask the questions. My God, you can do that here. Where else can you do that? And if you do that, we're going to answer you. And if you raise your hand, we're going to reach out and get in touch with you. So if you open up and share, you're going to hear from us. And that's the way that we like it. So if you're not in our community yet, please come and join us, because that's the kind of thing that we like to do. It's also an opportunity for you to ask, not only ask those questions, but to inspire other people and to be inspired by other people in the community. And listen to me, bumble after Rebecca embarrasses me about my HIIT classes. So thanks for being here, guys. You guys, really quickly, any ideas what's on the chopping block for next week?
Why don't we just leave it up? Let's leave it open for discussion. If anybody wants to hear about a specific topic, drop it right here in the comments, and we will put it on the list. Make it happen.
I was going to say something very similar, Nick. It is Heart Health Month, so I think we should try to stick on the same track. But if there's something specific that you want to hear about that has to do with your heart health, whether it has to do with what you're eating, what you're doing, or self-care or something like that, let us know what we can do to help guide you to care for your heart a little bit better.
Very good. Love it. All right. Open for discussion. You guys tell us what you want to hear. Thanks for being here, guys. We love you. Keep coming back. Keep lifting each other up. And we'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.